course, day one. I'm so excited because we are beginning an incredible 5-day journey. Yes, so excited about what this course is going to do for your business, for your income, which is the most important thing that I'm thinking about when it comes to doing this course. And for day one, we actually start at the foundation. And the foundation is, of course, uncovering your big idea, okay? Uncovering your big idea. This is very, very important. So, what is your big idea? Every successful business is born out of a big idea. And by big, I'm not talking about the fact that it has to be global, although that helps, or anything else. I have an acronym for big that I want to share with you. So it's big problem, income, focused, and G for gather, proof. Okay, let's take those one by one. Right, let's look at the B, big problem. I heard of a lady really inspirational called Marie Callender. You may have heard of her. Now, Marie Callender is known for baking pies, but she didn't always start that way. So Marie Callender was working in a restaurant when she was much younger, and she was a single mom at the time, and this restaurant was about to close. So she had a big problem. The problem was, I'm a single mom, the restaurant's about to close, I have no idea where I will be, where I will get some income from. So Marie Callender plucked up the courage to go to the owner of the restaurant and she said, look, a lot of people love the pies that I bake. How about, instead of the food we serve, how about I bring one of my pies and let's see if people will buy those pies. The owner of the restaurant said, whatever, it's cool, just do it, because he was about to close and he was also at his wit's end. The following day, Marie Callender brought in a pie. In the restaurant, people hardly came in, but the people who came in demolished the pie. The day after that, Marie Callender brought in 2 pies. Again, those pies were demolished. The day after that, she decided to bring in, a little bit more, 3 or 4 pies. And again, people started to queue up and they kept coming back over and over again as the days and weeks went by that Marie Callender was serving up these pies. Now, with the additional money that Marie Callender was making, what she then did is she then invested in an industrial oven in her house, baking lots of pies, providing pies for this restaurant, which she didn't own. And guess what happened? Before time, this restaurant started to do well, and no longer did they serve food, but they actually started to serve pies. Now, within the next couple of years, this same single mom who was nearly who was working in a restaurant that was about to close down, who had no idea where she would be making money from after this, the same single mom who was stuck in a rut at that time, opened a chain, one after the other, of course, of restaurants serving pie. Now, in America, there are so many supermarkets that you will go to and you will see Marie Callender's pies, and now her business is worth multi-millions of dollars. Now, why am I sharing that with you? Because it started with a big problem, right? It started with a big problem. Now, one thing that I know about business, and when it comes to running a successful business, is that it's not enough to just have a business out of passion. You see, if Marie Callender had, baked her pies just because she had a passion for baking pies, it will be a very different shift to the fact that she has to bake those pies because that restaurant was going to close if she doesn't do it. And if that restaurant closed, she has no idea where she would find work when there are so many other people looking for work. So, what big problem are you solving with your business? Right? When it comes to having a big idea, I want you to first think, what big problem are you solving with your business? And what big problem is it solving in your life? What is that thing that's pushing you forward to do this? That becomes your big why. Right? So for Marie Callender, she had those 2 things. She had her big why, and she had the big problem that she was solving. And because it was such a big problem, not only did it change her life, life. It changed the life of the restaurant owner where she was working at the time. And of course, it gave her a multiple $1,000,000 business, which still stands today. So when it comes to your big idea, the B stands for big problem. Now let's look at the I, right? The I is that it has to be income focused. If you are going to make money online, you've got to think about the income of it. Again, a lot of people start business online. Every single day there are coaches everywhere, right? Whatever niche you are in, I promise you that tomorrow there will be 200 other people again in that niche, and it's becoming a very, very crowded market. But a lot of people aren't income focused. They're not thinking, goodness me, how much money do I want to make from this business? How much money do I need for my life to be, less than ordinary, for my life to be lucrative, for it to be exceptional? How much money do I need? How much income do I need coming in? What a lot of people do is, instead of having a big idea that solves a big problem, they just think, I have a passion for, doing hair, or, perhaps they have a story where they were abused, unfortunately, when they were younger, and they think, I want to now create a business out of that, and they forget that, okay, you might be helping people, but are you thinking about the income? Are the people in that niche, do they have the money to pay for what you are offering? Right? Do they have the money? When I first started in the daycare niche, my very first coaching business was in the daycare niche. And even though this was a niche that I knew left to right, upside down, back to front, because we had a 7-figure day nursery business offline, right? So coaching seemed easy. But one thing that I didn't consider is the fact that this market that I was going into, they didn't have the level of income that I was demanding to be paid. And so for months and months and months, I was running webinars and doing lots of crazy stuff to bring in clients. And yes, they would show up, but they wouldn't pay. So I wasn't thinking about my income when I chose my niche. And then the third thing is, when it comes to a big idea, is this: gather proof. Now, how do we know that an idea is a profitable idea? It is a lucrative idea. It is these three things. It is, number one, it solves a big problem. Number two, it is income focused, right? You've already done the plans, or at least you have an idea of the level of income that you can command in this niche. But how do you know that? Well, you got the proof. You've got to go out there and find people who are doing the same thing, people who are serving the same audience. You've got to go out there and have a look on their website, have a look on their sales page, figure out what is it they're selling, how are they selling it. That is your proof of concept, proof of your big idea. Because when you have that, you have total confidence to go forward and to literally run with your idea. So now you may be thinking, Pam, I already have a business, right? I already have a business. I've already got a couple of clients even under my belt. What I want you to think about is, how much money did you make in the last 30 days? Right? Write that down for me. And then how much money did you make 30 days before? So, 2 months before, how much did you make? 3 months before, how much did you make? Chances are that if you are being really honest, that your income has gone up and down, up and down, up and down. Now, what I'm asking you to do is, we've got to go back to basics, right? To go back, and once we uncover what the big idea is, we've got to then figure out, does it agree with all of these three criteria? Am I solving a big problem? Have I been income focused when I decided and chose my niche? And have I got proof of concept? Or is this just something that I love doing, in which case it's a hobby? Because, like I always say, ladies, if your business isn't making any money, then it's just a hobby, right? It is just a hobby. So, but how do you uncover those big ideas? So there are 3 key areas that I want you to think about. The first one is this. So number 1. What is your area of expertise, right? What is your area of expertise? I meet so many people who get on a call with me who want to become a client, who want me to work with them, and one thing that I've noticed that people are doing is that they are ignoring their real area of expertise, and instead they are chasing after shiny objects. They're chasing after something that they have seen somebody else be successful in. I promise you, if you chase after those things, you will never be successful in those things because you have no idea what that person has done to get to where they are. You cannot do that. Instead, I want you to think, what is your area of expertise? That means, what are you so good at? What are you particularly excellent at? Right, so what is that? Number 2 is, what do you do effortlessly? I'm going to write that down. So number 2 is effortless. Okay, right? So what is your area of expertise? What do you do so effortlessly, like it comes so easily to you that people marvel at it, right? You may not have a qualification in this field. You may not know many people who do it in your, in your personal life, right? But you know this is a thing because it comes so effortlessly to you. But perhaps you're constantly giving people advice about something. Perhaps you're the kind of person who somebody comes in and they say, do you know what, I have a problem with this, and you say, well, have you tried this? And they go, no, and they try it and they get some results. Or perhaps you're the type of person who, you can read something, you can read a piece of copy, or you can read somebody else's website and you can see the holes in that, and they haven't seen that, right? What is it that you do that is so effortless to you, but other people struggling? That's important, right? You can see that other people are struggling in this area. And then finally, number 3 is, what have you overcome? Right, number 3, overcome. So what have you overcome in the past that is keeping other people stuck, right? Perhaps you have successfully transitioned from, your 9-to-5 job and created a successful side hustle, but you're obviously here because you want to scale that. Or perhaps you have overcome a very abusive marriage and successfully moved on. Perhaps you found another partner, or perhaps you have found joy, and fulfillment in actually just being single or being a single mom, and you've figured out, how to stay organized, how to stay on top of things, how to live this single life with joy, right? Or perhaps you have successfully cared for loved ones who have been unwell, and you did so much research, and even though the doctors were saying one thing, because of your help, because of all the research or the knowledge that you acquired whilst caring for them, they became better. What have you overcome, right? Or what have you helped other people overcome? Because I tell you something, this is where your money is. It's in this area, right? It's in these 3 key areas: your expertise, what you do effortlessly, what you have overcome. Your money, right? Your money is here. But in order to make that lucrative, once you have done this exercise, you've written down your areas of expertise, what you have overcome, the things you do effortlessly, then you've got to pick 1 or 2 and then start to answer the questions. Is this a big problem, right? Remember the story of Marie Callender. Is this a big problem? What level of income can I get from this? I.e., who is doing this? What are they charging? What is their offer? What is it? And the way you do that is by doing the research, is by gathering proof. So really, really important that you go back to basics, build the right foundation, right? Build the right foundation. And I promise you, it is when you do this work that you get to actually begin to fly, and your business grows and scales quicker than you ever imagined, because you started out right. So I have some homework for you. I want you to click the link and grab your workbook. We have created a workbook for every single day of this training. So click the link, grab your workbook, and begin to answer those questions for me. Everything that I have talked about in this training is in your workbook. We'll share the link in the workbook for you. Once you click that, it will take you to a specific post for accountability. Share what you have written. Tell us what you are focusing in on so that we can give you some feedback. And of course, let us know how you got on with today. I can't wait to see you in the group. And last but not least, in your workbook, I have given you some additional trainings to watch for today's task. Now, this is just additional, but it will give you some ideas, right? Some ideas of how you can then take the work that we have done today and turn it into a business, right? This is training that I have recorded and have put out there on YouTube, and I have inserted the link in the workbook so that you have a lot more to really support you with nailing today's task, which is all about uncovering your big idea. So you know what the task is, you've watched the training, go ahead, grab your workbook and get going, and I cannot wait to see you in a group. So tomorrow I'm incredibly excited. Tomorrow's training is all about moving away from uncovering that big idea to making it a money-making idea. And I have some incredible tools to put in your hands based on tomorrow's training. So I cannot wait to see you tomorrow.